Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, all honor, all glory to YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, bahasham, qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching me this truth according to the Bible through the spirit and power of YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, and a sincere peace and salutation to all you hopeful elect Akim out there pushing his word in all truth and sincerity, doing the work as YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI has created us to do, so he can wake up and seal the elect of the nation of Israel, which consists of you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and you Israelites who are scattered amongst the heathen nations that may look like the heathen nations, but your father's seed line goes back to you being the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American. One is the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. It's Shalom. It's your brother Halak from the GMS Denver camp, coming back once again through the spirit and power of YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, with another video. And this is going to be another installment of the Lord's promises to our fathers, continuing on in the history and giving you a rundown of what was said, but what the Most High has promised unto our forefathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So we ended the last installment off in Genesis 22. Now we're going to fast forward to Genesis 25. You see? So we're just continuing on showing you that the Most High is dealing with a specific bloodline, a specific seed line, which runs through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Because the Christians, you see, they're spinning a false narrative that the Most High is dealing with all people. But when you follow the true narrative of the Bible, that's not the case. The Most High is only dealing with the bloodline or the seed line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Now we're going to continue on. So this is Genesis 25 and 1. It says, then Abraham took a wife, because this is after Sarah died. Then Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah. And she bare him Zimram, Jokshan, and Medan, and Median, and Ishbak, and Shua. And Jokshan begat Sheba and Dedan, and the sons of Dedan were Asherim, and Letusim, and Leumim, and the sons of Midian, Ephav, and Epher, and Hanak, and Abidah, and Eldaah. All these were the children of Keturah. So Abraham had more than one son. He had Ishmael, he had Isaac, and he had these sons right here from Keturah. You see? But what does it tell you in verse 5? And Abraham gave all that he had unto Isaac, because Isaac was that promised seed, as we left off on in Genesis 22. And Isaac shall thy seed be called. The Most High doesn't care about any of these other sons that Abraham had. He doesn't even care about Ishmael. Now he blessed Ishmael, you see, and the Most High had Abraham give these sons right here gifts, but he gave everything, you see, unto Isaac, because Isaac was that chosen seed. Isaac was the seed of promise, as we read about in the earlier chapters. You see, the son that was promised to come from Abraham, you see, which Sarah bare him. You see? Verse 6 says what? But unto the sons of the concubines which Abraham had, Abraham gave gifts and sent them away from Isaac his son. You see? And while he yet lived eastward unto the east country. Now this goes on, and Abraham passes away, and Isaac and Ishmael bury him. But then it goes through what? The lineage of Ishmael. These sons are not the chosen sons. It's just letting you know who they are. We're not concerned about that, you know. So we're passing over that. Now we're getting to the good part. So this is Genesis 25 and 19. It says what? And these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begat Isaac. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife. And that happened after what? Sarah, his mother, passed. Abraham sent his servant, you see, to find Isaac a wife. And he found Rebekah. And Isaac lay with her and make her his wife. So it goes on to say, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel the Syrian of Padanaram, the sister to Laban the Syrian. And Isaac entreated YAHAWAH for his wife because she was barren. You see that? So the Most High shut up her womb. Now Isaac is entreating the Lord, praying to the Lord. You see? And what happens? And YAHAWAH was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived. So she was able to have children. Now listen, verse 22. And the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of YAHAWAH, bahasham YAHAWASHI. And YAHAWAH said unto her, listen carefully. And YAHAWAH said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. So she was impregnated by Isaac, and she had 2 different nations in her womb. How is this possible? Because everything is possible with the Heavenly Father, man. There is nothing impossible with him. You see, that's why the scriptures tell you to lean not upon your own understanding. The Most High can do whatever he wants to do. And that's exactly what he did with these 2 children that was in Rebekah's womb, man. He made them 2 separate nations. You see? So it says, well, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. The one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. The Most High just prophesied right here. One people was going to be stronger than the other people, and the elder son was going to serve the younger son. That's what the Most High said, because we see who's speaking at the beginning of verse 23. It's the Lord speaking, the Heavenly Father speaking, telling Rebekah what's about to happen. The elder is going to serve the younger. Now, it goes on, verse 24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And this is the so-called white race that was born first. You see, they're the Edomites according to the Bible. And what did the prophecy say? The elder shall serve the younger. The Most High prophesied that Esau is going to serve the younger. Verse 26 says what? And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. So he was 60 when she finally had him. But Jacob came out after Esau, so that lets us know how things are going to fall into line. Esau is the servant, you see, and Jacob will rule over him, as the Most High said in verse 23. Now, let's continue on. Verse 27. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. And this is why you see them. Just go type in hunting magazines and see who pops up on the front of the hunting magazine. It's the Edomite. This is what they do. They hunt for sport. Trophy hunting, man. That's a part of their nature. And it was a part of their forefathers' nature, and they can continue the tradition, and they don't even know why. It's because they are the Edomites, man. You see, Esau, he's always in the field, rock climbing, out there skiing and doing whatever, man. Because that's the spirit of Esau. It says what? And Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents. You see, and Jake loves to be at the crib, man, relaxing, chilling. You see? Verse 28 says what? And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. And now, here we go. Now listen. This is a very important part of history right here. A very, very, very important part of history. Because the Most High had this event take place because what? He needed this to be set up for things to fall into place for the seed of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob. Now, let's read it. Genesis 25 and 29, it says what? And Jacob saw the pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with this same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom, which means red. And when you look at the Edomite, they are red. They're not white. You see? They've used color psychology on the world, you see, and put this title of white upon themselves to deceive people into thinking that they're righteous, that they're pure, that they're holy, because that's what white goes into. You see, and they put the proverb byword of being black upon us, which means what? What? Death, darkness, evil. You see, that's color psychology, man. But the Edomite, they're actually red, and we, the Israelites, you see, us so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we're actually a brown people. You see? But going on, verse 31 says what? And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. Now listen, he said, sell me this day thy birthright, because you will have Edomites make the argument that Jacob stole it from Esau. But that's not the case. Jacob didn't steal anything, man, as we're going to go on to see. So he said what? Genesis 25 and 31. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die, which he really wasn't. It says what? And what profit shall this birthright do to me? So he didn't what? He didn't understand the advantage that the birthright had. He didn't understand the magnitude of being the firstborn. So what did he do? Verse 33 says what? And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he swore unto him. And he sold his birthright unto Jacob. You see that? Esau sold his birthright. Jacob didn't steal anything, man. Esau sold his birthright for 1 meal. That's how lowly Esau thought of the birthright. He didn't care about it. He gave it right up for 1 meal. He didn't steal. Jacob, our forefather Jacob, did not steal anything. Esau sold it. You see, a transaction was made. And as we continue on in the history, this transaction was upheld by the Heavenly Father, man. Because when you get deeper into the understanding, Esau, the birthright always belonged to Jacob. You see? And that goes back to what we just read in the 23rd verse of what? The elder shall serve the younger. You see, the Most High had this event take place the way it took place. The Most High had Esau sell his birthright because what? Jacob is that chosen seed. Now verse 34 says what? Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up, and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. You see? Esau despised it. He hated it. So he sold it for a meal. He didn't care about it. That's a major event that took place in the history between Esau and Jacob. You see? Now, we're going to go. We're going to jump to chapter 26. So it continues on more history. Like I said, in the first installment, man, it's going to be a lot of reading, but that's how it is with the history, man. So it says what? Genesis 26 and 1. And there was a famine in the land beside the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went unto Abimelech, king of the Philistines, unto Gerar. And YAHAWAH appeared unto him and said, Go not down into Egypt. Dwell in the land that I shall tell thee of. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and bless thee, for unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries, and I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father. And I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven, and will give unto thy seed all these countries, and in thy seed shall all nations of the earth be blessed, because that Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. This is the Most High continuing what? That promise through Isaac now. So, and that's what happens when you have an inheritance. It's passed down from one generation to another. So it began with Abraham, then it was passed down to Isaac. This is the narrative the Bible follows, man. This is what the Bible is talking about from the back to the front. The Most High fulfilling these oaths that he made unto our forefathers. And we see the Most High speaking on these things to our forefathers. Like I said, the Christian narrative, that Christian dogma, it doesn't follow the true narrative of the Bible. It doesn't follow what is really being said in the scriptures, man. Because what's taking place right here, this oath that's being made between the Most High and our forefathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that's a major thing, man. You see? The Most High fulfilling this right here is going to change the whole course of the planet Earth. So this is a major thing that's happening right here, that's taking place, that the Most High is establishing in the earth through our forefathers. You see? Now let's move on, because it goes into Isaac dwelling in the land, but we're going to jump to verse 27 to get into it some more. Because now, this is another major chapter, man. So where do I want to start? Or do I want to read this whole chapter and make it the end of the lesson? You know what? We're going to start right here. I'm going to read the synopsis of it at the top of the chapter. So this is chapter Genesis 27, and this is the synopsis of the chapter. It says, Isaac sendeth Esau for venison. Rebekah instructeth Jacob to obtain the blessing. Jacob under the person of Esau obtaineth it. Esau bringeth venison. Isaac trembleth. Esau complaineth, and by importunity obtaineth a blessing. He threateneth Jacob. Rebekah disappointeth it. So because I don't want to read this. This is a long chapter, so 46 verses, but I'm trying to see where I want to start. You know what? We'll start at verse 18. Because Esau comes to Isaac and tells him, and Isaac tells him to go what? Go prepare venison, you know? But Rebekah man, I might as well read the whole chapter. Let's read the whole thing. So it can make sense. So this is Genesis 27:1. It says what? And it came to pass that when Isaac was old, his eyes were dim, so that he could not see. He called Esau his eldest son and said unto him, My son. And he said unto him, Behold, here am I. And he said, Behold, now I am old. I know not the day of my death. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out to the field, and take me some venison. Go hunting for me. And make me savory meat, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat it, and that my soul may bless thee before I die. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau his son, and Esau went to the field to hunt for venison, and to obtain it. And Rebekah spake upon Rebekah spake upon Jacob her son, saying, Behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, Bring me venison, and make me savory meat, that I may eat and bless thee before YAHAWAH before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice, according to that which I command thee. Go now to the flock, and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of the goats, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth. And thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, Behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. And that's another characteristic of the Edomite. They're hairy. While the Israelites, the majority of us, we're pretty smooth, man. We don't really have too much body hair upon us, man. You see, that's another characteristic of the Edomites, being very hairy, and you can see it, man. See, some of these Edomites, they have back hair coming out the top of their shirts. You see, verse 12 says what? My father peradventure will fill me, and I shall seem to be as a deceiver, and I shall bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing. So Jacob, he's like, man, I don't know about this, mom. You know, I ain't trying to trick that. I ain't trying to be like no deceiver or nothing like that. But you know, it's all happening to fulfill prophecy. You see, and Rebecca understood that. You see, because the Most High put the Spirit upon her to understand it. Verse 13 goes on to say, and his mother said unto him, Upon me be thy curse, my son. Only obey my voice and go fetch me them. And he went and fetched and brought them as his mother, and his mother made savory meat, such as his father loved. And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them upon Jacob, her younger son. And she put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hands, and upon the smooth of his neck. You see that? That back hair. You see that? Verse 17 says what? And she gave the savory meat and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. And he came unto his father and said, My father. And he said, Here am I. Who art thou, my son? Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau thy firstborn. I have done according as thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, that my soul may bless thee. And Isaac said unto his son, How is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, Because YAHAWAH thy power brought it to me. And Isaac said unto Jacob, Come near, I pray thee, and I will, Salakia, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not. And Jacob went near unto Isaac, his father, and he felt him, and said, The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he discerned them not, because his hands were hairy, and his brothers as his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him. And he said, Art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am. Now listen. Now why is this happening? Because you have to understand, in the previous chapter, or chapter 25, Esau had already sold his birthright unto Jacob, so it belonged to Jacob anyway. You see? And that's another characteristic of the Edomite. They don't consider that the Most High sees everything. The Most High saw what happened between Esau and Jacob. The Most High saw that Esau sold his birthright for a meal of lentils, man. The angels reported that to the Most High, and the Most High is upholding that. Esau sold it; it didn't belong to him anymore, and this is why he's having this event take place the way it's taking place. You see, because Esau didn't tell Isaac that he sold his birthright to Jacob. He didn't let that be known, but the Most High saw it, because the angel saw it and reported back to the Most High. And now the Most High is upholding, you see, Jacob having the birthright. So that's why he's about to receive this blessing the way he's going to receive it. You see? So Genesis 27 and 25 says what? And he said, Bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat. And he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him, Come near now, and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, See, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field which YAHAWAH hath blessed. Therefore the Most High give thee the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty corn and wine. So this first portion of the blessing is what? The first portion of the blessing is that Jacob and his seed are going to inherit the entire planet Earth and all the resources that come with it. That's the first blessing. That's the first portion of the blessing. The entire planet Earth and everything in it is going to be given over into the hands of Jacob and his seed. So all that falls, that inheritance continues, and it falls down to who? The 12 tribes of Israel. You see? Let's get a precept real quick. Let me see. Let me see. No, yep, it's Psalm 72. And one that says what? A psalm for Solomon. It says what? Give the king thy judgments, O Most High, and thy righteousness unto the king's sons. So we're going to jump down to the point. So this is a song of Solomon, man. A song for Solomon. And one of the things that it goes into, it says what? He shall have dominion also from sea to sea, and from the river unto the ends of the earth. So Solomon didn't fulfill this. Now Solomon had a great portion when we ruled during his time, but he didn't have dominion from sea to sea. He didn't rule from the ends of the earth. This is going to be fulfilled through the Lord YAHAWASHI. You see? And that goes into what? The Israelites coming into power and taking the dominion of the earth. You see? It goes into us coming into power and us having what? And taking the earth, or taking the kingdom, as it tells you in Daniel chapter 7. Fulfilling the what? The promise or the blessing that Isaac is giving Jacob back in Genesis 27. It's another one I'm looking for, though. It might be in the Apocrypha. Yep, there it is. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 44, verse 21. It says what? Therefore he assured him by an oath. Let me go. Where should I go? Where should I go? Let me see. Yo, let's start at 19. Ecclesiastes chapter 44, verse 19, it says, Abraham was a great father of many people, and glory was there none like unto him, who kept the law of the Most High, and was in covenant with him. He established the covenant in his flesh, and when he was proved, he was found faithful. Therefore he assured him by an oath that he will bless the nations in his seed, because Israel is scattered amongst all nations. You see? The Israelites are scattered amongst all nations, and that's what causes these nations to flourish. Us being there. You see? It says what? And that he would multiply him as the dust of the earth, and exalt his seed as the stars, and cause them to inherit from sea to sea, and from the river unto the utmost part of the land. You hear that? That goes into what? Us inheriting the entire planet Earth, as we're reading about here in Genesis 27 and 28. Therefore the Most High give thee the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, that's all the resources, and plenty of wine and corn, or corn and wine. You see? That's meant for us. And that's what's happening. This is what you see happening in the earth, man. The Most High is ending Esau's blessing because he received one, and we're coming into Jacob's blessing. Verse 29 says what? And let people serve thee, you see, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. There it is. So not only do we have coming to us everything that all the natural resources, the entire planet Earth itself, that's about to be given over to the hand of the Israelites, beginning with YAHAWASHI, but also the human resources, you people. All of you heathen belong unto us, and especially you Edomites, man. And that goes back to the fulfillment of what? Genesis 25 and 23. The elder shall serve the younger. See, the Most High upheld that, man. The Most High meant that when he said it. And that's what you see included in our blessing. All the resources of the earth, the people, and the what? Thy mother's sons are going to bow down unto us, man. You see? This is the blessing that we receive from our forefather Isaac. And the Most High is going to uphold it. Now, here's the blessing of Esau. So we jump down. Esau finally comes back. You see, but by then it's too late. Jacob has already received the blessing. Now, the Most High being as balanced as he is, he also gave Esau a blessing. So let's read it. Genesis 27 and 32, it says what? And Isaac his father said unto him, who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly and said, who? Where is he that have taken venison and bought it me, and I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him? Yea, and he shall be blessed. Why is that? It's because the Most High is going to uphold it. Because first and foremost, the Most High already said that Esau was going to serve, the elder was going to serve the younger. And secondly, Esau sold his birthright. Verse 34 says what? And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, thy brother came with subtlety, and have taken away thy blessing, because it belonged to Jacob anyway. Verse 36 says what? And he said, is he not rightly named Jacob? Now listen to this. Listen to what kind of devil Esau is. It says what? He has supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, which we all know was a lie. We all know, according to Genesis 25, that Esau sold the birthright. Jacob didn't take away anything. Esau sold it for a meal. And this is another characteristic of the Edomite, always trying to play the victim, man. You see? They do these things to bring these calamities upon themselves, and, you see? And then they try to play the victim. That's still a characteristic of the Edomite till this day. Jacob took nothing away. Esau sold it, man. And it says what? And behold, now he have taken away my blessing. Because what? You sold the birthright, so the blessing didn't belong to you anymore. That's the consequence of your actions, Esau. The birthright was tied to that blessing. You sold your birthright. That means you lost the blessing. You see? And this is all the Most High's will, man. The Most High orchestrated this story to play out the way it's playing out. It's controversial, and that's what the Most High wanted it to be. Because you mere mortals read this and say, oh, how is that fair? Oh, that's so unfair. Hey, the Most High can do what he want to do. And he chose to have Jacob receive the birthright and the blessing. And the Most High took it away from Esau. Point blank, period. And this is the Most High showing his divinity, his power. You see? That he can do whatever he want to do. He wrote this story to play out how he wanted to play out, and that's what's happening. No man on this earth has any right to tell the Most High how the story should go. It's going to play out how the Most High sees fit, and that's what's happening right here. This is why the Most High had these events take place the way they did, because this is his story, man. Now listen. It says what? He has supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he have taken away my blessing. Devil. And he said, how hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all his look at that. I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. And with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And this is, and little do you Edomites know, because your elites haven't told you, but you are living in your blessing right now. This blessing that Esau has received from our forefather Isaac right here, you Edomites are living in it now, and no one told you. You haven't even got to experience the fullness of your blessing, because the elites of your people have hoarded all the wealth and the riches unto themselves. And now you Edomites, you see, living in your blessing, is out here working 9 to 5s, man. Out here working 12-hour shifts. That's not how you're supposed to be living in your blessing, man. See, your elites, being the pieces of shit they are, they have screwed you Edomites out of your blessing, man. Because this was it. And now we're coming to the end of it. You see? So Genesis 27 and 29 says what? And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. You have allotted the earth's resources in your control. Well, mainly the elites. Let me say that. The elites have everything in the earth. You see? It says what? And of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live. You see that? And that's how you've gotten everything you've gotten in your possession. You got it by way of rape, robbery, and murder. The land of America, all the lands that you inhabit. You stole the lands, man. And that was the Most High setting you up for your destruction, because what? He that liveth by the sword shall die by the sword. So, showing you how much the Most High hates you Edomites, man. He gave you a blessing that was a curse unto you. So Genesis 27 and 40, it says what? By thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And here you are right now. You have our yoke broken off your neck, and you're living in your blessing. Well, the end of it anyway. Verse 41 says what? And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. But you can't be mad at Jacob, because at the end of the day, you served the birthright. You sold the birthright, which automatically disqualifies you from the blessing of the firstborn. You see, you gave it up. All according to the Most High's will, man. So it says what? And Esau hated Jacob his brother, blessing, because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. And this is the same hatred that these Edomites carry in their heart towards us till this day. You see? So yeah. So now that's a major chunk of it, man. But we're going to continue on in the next installment. Then we're going to continue on with more of the promises made unto our fathers, because now it's going to be passed from Isaac to Jacob, man. You see? Then we're going to, like I said, one more installment of the history. And then we're going to get into the prophecies to follow up, to show you how the Most High has promised to uphold and to fulfill all the things that he's promised unto our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So yeah, man. So with that, Lord willing, this was edifying. I want to give all praise, all honor, all glory to YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, bahasham, qadash. And a double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching me this truth according to the Bible through the spirit and power of YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI. And a sincere peace and salutation to all you hopeful elect Akim out there pushing His word in all truth and sincerity, doing the work as YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI has created us to do. And with that, I say Shalom, Wah, and Ba.